Less than 2 weeks ago, 11 people died at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. The accused shooter is a man who had posted anti-Semitic rants online. It was the worst attack against Jewish people in American history, but sadly it was not isolated. An example of anti-Jewish hate continued to go on. New York law enforcement officials say they're seeing more of it as well.
The increased reports of swastikas and other criminal mischief here in the 5 boroughs absolutely concern us. And none of it will ever be tolerated in New York City. But let me be clear, Robert Bowers, the Pittsburgh shooter, is an anti-Semite fueled by unadulterated hate. He's not just a nut, and it's important for people to make that distinction. Everybody in New York City and our nation should pay attention to what happened in Pittsburgh and understand it should never, ever happen in the United States of America.
That was James O'Neill, New York City Police Commissioner. Evan Bernstein is the Regional Director for the Anti-Defamation League in New York and New Jersey. Evan, good to have you on. We know that you cannot eliminate hate, but is there anything we can do to lessen the likelihood of this happening?
We know hate's a learned behavior. We know that people hate Jews, hate other minority groups because they learn that way. They're not born that way. And it's important for us to understand that as a society, we need to get anti-bias inclusion training into as many schools as possible across the United States, because we need to let young people understand that all the violence, all the hate that they're seeing is not normal, and it can't become normalized. And we're starting to see, especially anti-Semitic incidents becoming normalized, anti-Semitic vandalism becoming normalized, and that's something that we must push back on as a society, and we feel education is the best way to do that.
Evan, we just heard from the New York City Police Commissioner. We played sound from him, and he said this isn't just some nut, meaning this isn't mental illness. This was a person who planned this out and who had a lot of hate inside of him. So there's a difference.
There is. And, you know, we were seeing a lot more hate going online. You know, the ADL was very involved in the demasking of the Ku Klux Klan almost 50 years ago. And when the masks came off the Klan, it was harder for them to gather and share their information. Now, with the advent of social media, it has become the #1 way. And we saw that with Robert Bowers and with Gab. We see that more and more on Twitter, Facebook, on podcasts and other forms of social media that shares this hate and allows people that hate at that level, that maybe are in New York and the other haters are in Los Angeles, and they can communicate real time. And that allows for this to fester and allows for things to get worse in our society. And we're seeing that now in real time, unfortunately.
So in a way, it fuels the fire, social media does, to this hate and makes it seem like it's okay, that it's normal. How do you break the cycle, if it's possible, of hate? Because as you said, it is a learned behavior.
Again, I think it's about people in our society taking as much responsibility for the next generation as possible. Parents need to take responsibility for their children, school systems, elected officials, community leaders. This has to be a group effort. It needs to be something that we push back on. We can't accept, as the NYPD put out, 31 anti-Semitic hate crimes between October 1st and October 28th. It's unacceptable for any city, for any minority group to have to experience that level of hate. And it's our job to get to the next generation, as I said, so they understand that bias of any kind towards any group, whether it's Jew, Black, Hispanic, or any group, is wrong.
I hope that we do, because you're right. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. It is a learned behavior. Evan Bernstein, thank you.
Thank you.